everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a top 10 drugstore or high street beauty products. I've mixed kind of skincare, hair care, makeup. If you want to see like a top 10 skincare or makeup or hair care, then I can do a separate video about that if you're interested. So yeah, I'm just going to run through my 10 sort of favourite drugstore or high street beauty products, and I hope some of you find this useful, and anything that can be linked below will be in the description box, so you can go and shop these pieces if you want to or read more about them. So yeah, let's get started. So the first thing is probably my number one staple, and it's Batiste dry shampoo. This is the original. I've tried probably all the scents now. I always get these massive ones because they last longer. I use this stuff pretty much every day. It's great for adding volume. It's great for when your hair's looking a bit greasy. I tend to find my hair's very very thick, so it tends to be quite full round here and it drops a little bit up here, so I tend to find I need to put some dry shampoo in the roots just to even it out. I always use dry shampoo if I'm doing an updo. It's just such a staple in my hairstyling, and yeah, if you haven't tried this, like, where have you been? But you need to get this, it's so good. Next, I'll stick with hair care. These are not in any order, by the way, they're just kind of randomly together. These are just like my top 10. I've mentioned this before, but it's the Organics OGX Nourishing Coconut Milk Anti-Breakage Serum. I use this every time I wash my hair. It smells absolutely amazing, really helps with frizz and sort of split ends and breakage, and leaves your hair feeling really really soft, and it smells lovely as well. I've used pretty much all of this now and it does make a huge difference, and I really really like it. Next is a lip balm, something else I mentioned before, and it's the EOS lip balms. This is the vanilla mint one. I've also got the coconut one. It's really nice, quite a handy applicator as well. They're quite unusual because they're round, but it's so easy to use, so hygienic as well, so you don't have to do your fingers in a pot, and they are really moisturising but don't feel sticky either, so I really like those. They're about £7. Next is an eye cream actually, and I picked this up from Superdrug, and it's their Naturally Radiant Brightening Eye Cream. It's probably the cheapest eye cream I've used, but it's really good. It does the job, nice and moisturising. Use it every day, day and night. It's just really good, and I think it's about £2 or £3. Very cheap. On to makeup. My favourite drugstore foundation is this one, and it's the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Matte Mattifying Infallible Foundation. I have the shade 10 Porcelain. This is really matte, and it's really long lasting, but it can be quite drying, so what I tend to do is mix it with either a little bit of BB cream, which is what I've got on my face today, or a little bit of another foundation, something like NARS Sheer Glow, or you can mix it with primer, moisturiser. I like to mix it. You can use it alone, which sometimes I do, especially if my skin is quite oily, but it's just a really good foundation, and I've not found anything this good from the drugstore for a very long time. It's about £8, it's quite cheap as well. Concealer. Now this is something I used to use years ago and then I recently rediscovered, and it's the Soap and Glory Kick-Ass Concealer. That sounds so lame in an English accent, but and it comes with a powder in the top, which is their heck of a block powder, and 2 concealers in the bottom. I use this one under my eyes and this one for blemishes. It's really heavy duty concealer, but it's not drying, and it works really well. It lasts all day. And yeah, it took me a while to get into this, but I found the best way to do it is to put this on before foundation, and that way it really covers up all those blemishes and dark circles, and it stays all day. And it's also a handy thing to put in your handbag because it does have a little mirror in, and it does have that setting powder, which is really good too. Speaking of powders, I couldn't do a drugstore favourites video without mentioning this, which is the Bourjois Healthy Balance Powder. I'm sure you've all heard of this. I've tried a lot of drugstore powders. The L'Oreal BB one is quite good, but I always come back to this one. It's just a perfect setting powder. It's not too mattifying, it's not too dewy, and it just looks very natural on the skin. You can top up with this, it doesn't look all cakey, and it's just really good. I prefer this to the MAC powder I've tried before, and it's just really good. So yeah, it's about £8.99 I think it is, and it's really worth it, so I definitely recommend getting that if you're wanting a new powder. My favourite lip liner, I know lip liners having like a moment now, my favourite high street budget lip liner have to be the Primark ones, and these are £1 each, super cheap, and they're really good quality, quite fine as well, and obviously I have to sharpen them, but they're really nice. The colour selection is good. I wish they did more colours. I wish they did kind of a deep berry, but they don't. But they do really good like brownie pinky nudes, all the kind of like Kylie Jenner colours. So they're really good. They're £1. Rimmel do really good ones as well, but I think these they're just £1 and they're equally as good if not better, so that's why I've gone for these ones. For drugstore lipsticks, now it's hard to narrow it down. I could probably do a top 10 drugstore lipsticks in itself, but the ones I'm going to mention are the Kiko ones. Now I have 3 different finishes, but the reason I mention these is because they're all kind of like under £10. They have loads of different finishes, so whether you want matte, sheer, glossy, and their colour selection is really, really good. I know it's a standalone store, so it's not technically like a drugstore, but you can get them online. The ones I have the sheer ones, and the packaging is also really, really beautiful. Like they have like a pull-out thing. I tend to have like all the brownie colours because that's just what I like, but they're really, really nice and they feel as good as a high-end lipstick. This one is the cheapest one they do, and this is a smart lipstick. This is like a pinky colour, similar to what I've got on my lips now. It's not this, but it's similar. And yeah, I just really, really like it. If you can't get hold of Kiko, you don't want to buy them online, I'd look at the Rimmel ones, especially the Kate Moss range. The new nude ones are really, really good. I've got some of those, and sort of the classics like the 107 sort of deep red one's a nice one. But yeah, I thought the Kiko ones were sort of less talked about, but I think they are really, really nice lipsticks, and they're the same price as the drugstore ones. And last but not least is an eyeshadow palette, and this is the Nudes palette by Maybelline. And the reason I've chosen this as my top 10 favourites, because I do use it quite a lot, is because I think it's such great value for £10. It does come with one of these silly foam applicators, which I don't use, but there's such a lot of shades in there. The quality of the shades is really, really good as well. They're really nicely pigmented, go on really well, and it's quite similar to something like the Naked palette, but obviously a lot cheaper. I think this is really, really good if you're kind of just getting into makeup, or you just want to buy a cheap nude palette to use every day. You can do everything with this. I mean, you've got really, really pale daytime colours, you've got a black so you can create like really smoky looks, and I just think it's such a good palette for £10, and it's quite often on offer in Boots and Superdrug as well, so it's quite often less than that. But yeah, other brands that I really, really like of the drugstore are the Makeup Revolution. They do some really, really good stuff, especially if you're on a tight budget, and Primark Beauty I'd recommend checking out. I know I mentioned the lip liners, but they do have quite a lot of other stuff that seems quite good, so I would highly recommend checking that out. And yeah, so if you'd like to see sort of a lipsticks video or anything like that, just let me know and I'll film that for you, and anything else you'd like to see. And yeah, if you did enjoy this video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!